utterly transported by this film, and it looks completely stunning. The game of riddle scene between Gollum and Bilbo really sticks out in the movie. It's just exceptional. How beneficial to you as a performer the technical advances that have happened in between sort of Lord of the Rings and this film in playing Gollum?
Well, the great thing about the way that performance capture technology has moved on is basically when we did Lord of the Rings, everything was filmed, and I acted with the other actors, with Sean Astin and Elijah Wood, and we played the scenes out together. But I then had to go away and go onto a motion capture stage and repeat the process for a lot of Gollum's shots. Whereas this time round, it's moved on in the last 12 years, and I'm now on set. We can film performance capture at exactly the same time as the live action cameras, and that's a significant move, because it means that you can just get on with the business of acting with each other, and knowing that at the end of the day, what you've shot that day is in the can, which is great. And so I have a head-mounted camera which is capturing all my facial expressions. I've got a suit with markers on which actually send out a pulse to all the cameras, to the performance capture cameras. The live-action cameras are filming Martin, performance capture cameras are filming me, and Peter can direct us, and it's exactly the same whether, as if I was playing a live-action role. There's no difference.
And Tolkien, of course, mentions Gollum's eyes, and they're an important tool for any actor, aren't they? But are you particularly aware of them being, expressive for Gollum, and how important that is?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, his lamp-like eyes, yeah, for sure. And I mean, they of course enlarged. Mine aren't that big, but the way that the performance capture cameras track your eye movements mean that every single expression is kind of driven by what I'm doing, and now that also with the way that the visual effects were, all the underlying muscles of my face, because Gollum's face is actually designed to match my muscle structure so that it can repeat all my facial expressions, but it's the underlying muscles this time round which have a greater sort of fidelity and look much more real, and particularly actually at 48 frames a second and in 3D, he just really feels totally there and in the same space and time as Bilbo.
Which is a little bit scary at times, actually, having him so close. Martin Freeman's brilliant as Bilbo. What can you tell us about working with him in that scene?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it was the very first scene that we shot in the entire movie. 276 days. This was day one. And we shot the scene for about between 10 days and 2 weeks. Can't remember exactly, but the way that Peter wanted to do it was to shoot it like a piece of theatre, a chamber piece of theatre, because it's a very complete scene, and it lasted about sort of 12 minutes or so when we were shooting it, and so we just used to literally shoot the whole thing from beginning to end, and then Peter would replace the cameras or give us notes, and then we'd do the whole thing again, and that's very unusual in filming to have the luxury of creating a scene like that. But it was Martin, he was his first days as Bilbo Baggins, so he was really trying to discover the character, and he's such an inventive actor that we were. I mean, it's just great. We were sort of we were able to really bounce off each other and do some interesting stuff.
And when the epic end credits roll at the end, people will see your name twice, not just as Gollum, but of course as second unit director. Yeah. People are sort of less familiar with that terminology. What does that mean on The Hobbit?
Well, on The Hobbit, it's actually quite significant in the sense that it's second unit director can mean sort of doing pickup shots of swords being drawn out of hilts over the hands and so on, but sometimes it's stunt sequences and action sequences as well. Stuff that the director might not have time to do, the main director. But on The Hobbit, it was a really, we were shooting for 200 days, and Peter wanted me to be there because it's such a large ensemble cast, and he knew that I could direct performance, and so he wanted someone to be there. There was a huge crew. It was pretty much another main unit, really. And we shot everything from all the aerial shots and battle sequences, some of the battle sequences, and then working with the main cast. So it was a really exceptional opportunity for me, and Peter gave me such a great job to do.
And as someone who's been involved in all 6 films, where would you like them to see them sort of sit in cinema history as the years go on?
Well, I think it's exactly that. That there will be people spending entire weekends sitting watching these back to back, as they have done with the Star Wars, franchise and all of these big franchises. But this I think will. The thing about these they feel like historical pieces, although they're fantasy films. They're emotionally very truthful, and they're always about the individual themes as well as the great big canvas. So you're always emotionally drawn to these characters, but they also kind of feel like there's a as Tolkien wrote this mythology, it feels, and because of the fan base that follow this mythology, there is almost a reality to it, and I think they in some way will sit like that and hopefully be remembered like that.
I think so too. Andy Serkis, thanks very much.
Thank you.